forgive us for anything that we may have said, done, any way we've been that was not pleasing in your sight. And Lord, we ask that today we speak what it is that you would want us to say on the topics that you have given us, Lord. We know that the issues that we are facing are deeply rooted and that it's time for light to be shined upon every dark shadow that is in everybody's life. Lord, we just thank you for another day. We thank you for getting us here safely. We ask that once again you articulate our words and you be the head. Lord, let everyone see you, not us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let's wake up, yeah, let's wake up,
Hello, you guys. Today we're coming to you with the topic Breaking the Mold. Episode number 2.
So exciting.
Yes. And disclaimer, once again, don't hold us for what we say. Google it yourself.
Absolutely. Search, dig deep within.
That part. I like that.
That's right.
Literally, though. Yeah, because that's what we talking about. You gotta dig within, but you Google yourself. Google what happened.
Right.
You know, all research. When you was a little kid. When you were a little kid.
How did you get here? Where did you come from?
What did you see when you were a child? Like, what was your reality as a child? Growing up in a volatile home, or growing up just seeing people living different kind of ways that, you know, outside of the church.
Those good church friends. I'm going to say that. I don't care. Growing up
But
without
you know,
support, you know,
absolutely.
in your household.
Some people were raised single-parent households. Other people were raised in households that didn't have both parents as far as biological mother and daddy. So even with that really goes through.
Because I was raised in a single parent household, and that still kind of bothers me, like, to this day. And that's one thing that I do not want my kids to ever have to experience. Because that's like a hard curse to live, right?
Well, you know, I now have a single parent household for me. And I grew up in, you know, what is it, a 2-parent household?
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in a 2-parent home, but you know, things aren't always the way they just, you know, need to be for, you know, a healthy environment to be raised in. So you grow up with issues and things that happen, and seeing these things as a child, that puts a mark on you. Because from birth till I say about 10, you are being made into who you're going to be. And so it's like everything that happens, like me, my daddy died when I was 9. The most traumatic experience I ever had, and did not even know what I was going through. I was literally depressed. I had anxiety. I couldn't sleep at night. I was crying myself to sleep as a young girl. You know, at night, I didn't know what was going on with me. And I was angry though, you know. And so, with everything that happened, nobody really understood me and what, you know, I had going on or what had brewed up in me. And it wasn't until I just really started to find God for myself, and I had to look at a lot of the things that I didn't want to think about. You know, it hurt to have to think back to some of the traumatic things that happened as a child, like before my daddy died. It was like I literally lived it out in my own life. What, about 20 years later? Literally about 20 years later. I went through exactly what my mama went through.
Wow.
Mother wounds. That's something that y'all can go Google and look up for yourself. Because mother wounds are energies. Okay, I'm gonna start with this. we are born with eggs, right? So think about when our mothers were born. They had us in them already. You know what I'm saying? So the energy that our grandmas carried was in our mamas, and that energy that was in our mama is in us, which is why we go through a lot of the things that our mothers go through. It's a whole cycle.
Yeah.
And until somebody wakes up and be like,
It's not
I ain't
right.
doing this no more. I'm going to have a single parent home. Me and God going to work this thing out.
Right.
Because being in a 2-parent home ain't always the healthiest thing. I'm not going to settle for, I'm not going to lower my standards for what I know a man to be.
Right.
Just so my kids can be happy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if your man is who he needs to be, then, you know, you make like your wifey. You know, you wifey now.
I can say that.
That part you do. So it's just like being through certain things, you have to know when to stop it. Even though it's something that deep down is what you want. Because, of course, it's what you want. You were raised like that. And we've all been conditioned through our families, through society, through a number of things to be a certain way. They want us to be a certain way.
Right.
That's how they can control us. It's through religion, through the family. Like, we'll talk about the Willie Lynch letter.
Oh, yeah.
If it's not this episode, it'll be the next for Black History Month for sure. But we have to learn when we are going through a curse and what it really is. Like, you have to look at yourself. It don't feel good to think about the stuff that I've done. I've been like, girl.
It don't.
Or the stuff that I had to go through. Because now I have kids. And I'm thinking about, like, dang. You know, it's crazy. And it's just, I don't know. It's just deep. And it gets deep. And people will, you know, if you have the wrong people in your circle, then you'll never see what you need to see to break the curse.
That's deep.
It's
That's
really
like
deep.
really deep.
Yeah. For real.
That's like, I had to go deep. Like you said, search deep. You go to Google and you have to go to the extended search. You have to get that extended search. It's stuff that they don't even want to put on the wheel. Like, cause of
That's
her.
the only way that you really find yourself and find true peace as well. Digging deep.
That's it.
And it's a curse because, but see the thing, it's even more of a task for us because we know we're generational curse breakers. We are speaking these things over our lives. See what has happened. And we are breaking the mold. So now we have outside influences, our parents and other family members or other friends that will make us feel like maybe we ain't where we need to be. Right. But
the whole time, that's because they know where they
They
need to be, so that's
okay.
why they
They can't
can't understand or
actually
relate
see
to
that.
us.
Absolutely.
they can't see their where they need to be or don't want to see it. And I understand, you know, because it take a lot to look inside at yourself.
I think that results back to, like we was talking about on the last episode, that mindset. You get what I'm saying? It's almost like they probably feel that this is the right thing to do, but you've been conditioned and you're scared.
Exactly.
It's that fear,
Yes.
you know?
Right.
And I think that's what gets in the way.
You need structure in your life, period.
Right.
But when they brought us to the United States,
They started to structure us. They wanted
Yeah,
to
they
structure us.
structured us.
They
They
changed
changed
everything. You know, and all that started coming down from our ancestors. That's where all this really came from because we got stripped of who we were. Because they wanted to make us accustomed to the culture that they wanted to
We
make
were
us accustomed
absolutely
to.
lost in an unknown place.
And that's
Yes.
to the point where you speak on, I don't want to get to talking about too much Black history, but it most definitely matters. That's why when they teach us this Black history, it only goes back to slavery. No. Talk about the real kings and queens we really were.
That's
Y'all
right.
wanted
To
us.
know there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's too
Absolutely.
much like right.
That's right.
And it holds too much power.
It does. We are some powerful people. Even
It makes sense as to why they don't. You know?
Mhm.
Because if you go back to the Bible, you know, Esau got mad because Jacob ended up with his birthright.
Mm-hmm.
And they separated. And Esau made his own religion
Mm-hmm.
that was not of God. You know what I'm saying? So you go back and then have just the wars and the fighting that has happened within the, you know, over the years.
Mm-hmm.
It's all, you have to have a solid foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And me personally, my foundation came from being in church.
Mm-hmm.
But through my journey in church, you experience church hurt. You experience things of people being people
Mhm.
and not following what God tells them to do.
Right.
And so you get hurt. And I personally went out and had to find God for my own self. I had to get an understanding for my own self.
That's right.
And like, you know, growing up, you get told, honor your mother and father so your days will be long on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And in honoring them, I thought they just do whatever they say. Don't talk back. Don't be arguing. Don't none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when I got older, and I'm like, I don't think like she think. It's different. You know, not knowing that God is leading me on the path to break the curse of why she even thinks, you know, the way that she might have thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn, like I said, I was angry. So I had to learn how to be able to say what it is that I felt. And I don't know if I just mastered that. Because, you know, things happen. But I still, like, I'm pure at heart with whatever I say, whatever I do. So, you know, you can't really get offended when somebody is telling you genuinely, you know, from their heart. Because I don't like to carry anger around with me anymore.
And it's like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You can't get offended by me pretty much letting you know how I feel. So it's pretty much like you want me to mute you so you can feel, I don't want to use the term superior, but that's what it pretty much is. You know what I'm saying? That's what it pretty much, and that doesn't make sense because it's like, even with kids, to the point where I listen to my son a lot, but then it's some stuff, you know, we're going back to these listen. But we need to listen to these kids. These kids is tapped in. Now, sometimes my baby be talking. Some mamas, you know, I know when it's happening to really fully listen. Not just, but it makes sense. And even with our kids, like they're already with all this personality. We couldn't be like we let our kids be now. Sit your butt down, you being fast. You know what I'm saying?
We couldn't even speak our mind.
We couldn't. You talking back? I just want.
Can't even fix your mouth.
Right.
You know, they be young.
That's
You
goes
teaching them
back
to be-
to that slave.
That's it.
That's right.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
real.
Well, we have our kids saying yes,
I
ma'am.
don't tell
Yes,
my kids
sir.
to say
Yes,
yes, ma'am, or no, sir.
Hey. It was a lady that stopped us, and because she asked my son something, and he was like, yes. She was like, boy, what you supposed to say? Oh, what the hell he said? Yes. I said, let me tell you something. He answered you, ma'am.
Yeah.
He don't have to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Because in California, like, when you address people, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, I feel, oh, don't call me that. That feel like literally some slave stuff. I'm like,
It
ooh,
is.
yeah. Like, so.
Well, I didn't know that. So I make my
You be polite to be respectful, but
Yes,
yes,
ma'am,
ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am, no.
I don't force that on my kids. I've never taught my kids
I just
that.
tell them to be respectful.
That's
I mean,
it.
as long as you're not up there being disrespectful, just yes or no will do just
Yeah.
fine. You know,
Yeah.
that's how we
it's a
raise
form of
our.
respect, though. You know what I'm saying? That's just me.
Well, if it's
Yeah.
older people, I get it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
you
that's
know,
a
your
good
elder,
elder.
yeah. Like if my baby's talking to his grandpa and pop, you know, yes sir, because that's what my daddy instilled. But you're not gonna be calling my mama in Arizona something. Yes, ma'am, Granny. What? Yes, you know, and that's how she is. So it's totally a different raising too, from being in the South to down South
In the city.
with this slavery versus in a whole different
My
state.
mama didn't never make me say
Really?
That's just, but yeah, I was raised.
Yeah, I used to have to. I used to have to
So
say that.
And yeah, me too. So that's how we are. What you about to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Agree on that.
Yeah. I feel because I really feel where y'all coming from.
Mhm.
So, but it's like so many things that I can look at that I picked up from just being conditioned
Mm-hmm.
by the white man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I said that last time.
No, you didn't.
We're not racist.
No, we're
No,
not.
we're not
No,
racist.
we're not.
I
So
love
don't
all
take me
skin
that
colors,
way.
baby. You can be pink and
But
purple.
we're realists though. We're not
Agree.
racist. We're just being realists.
Like, I have told my son he wasn't real. But if he don't remember me saying that, I'm not going to
refresh his memory.
Like,
Right.
I'm just gonna let you know, but I did let him know Santa Claus is not the white man that
No.
you see on the TV.
No,
Like, that ain't who Santa Claus is.
he's
Santa
definitely not
Claus
buying
be
you
in the
any
house
gifts.
with
Maury hasn't heard of something. He ain't real. You Santa Claus. White be up in there wrapping them presents then. You know what? No Christmas this year.
I hate that.
Yeah, it
I was
really
so
is.
sad when I found out Santa Claus wasn't real.
Really?
I was.
Michaela, me
I
too.
really
I was
was.
heartbroken because
So
my
y'all-
friends like he
Like, I
ain't
was
real.
sad.
And you really thought Santa Claus was real?
My mom and them used to tell me, go to, if you don't know this, don't put ashes in your eyes. And one night I swear I see somebody coming and I was awake. And I was so scared. I mean, like, scared that I was going to be called because I was awake. So guess when I found out, I was hurt.
American Mother.
And I don't want my kids to experience that. No, ain't no Tooth Fairy, ain't no Santa.
It was disappointment.
Marty pick and choose who he want to believe in. Which that tooth fall out. The tooth fairy didn't come. Oh, COVID going on, probably a little delayed. You want to pick and choose who you want to believe in.
They want that money when their tooth fall out.
But even with that, like the foundation that we're building for our kids, we're letting them be more free and more, free spirited and to become themselves.
Right.
Like what's gonna shock them is that we gonna have 10 and 15-year-olds that got their own businesses.
That's right.
Big
That's right.
steppers.
They already
Ain't gotta
talking about it.
worry
When
about.
you pressure your kids to be something that you want them to be,
Mhm.
that's just a lot. Because my mom pressured me when I was coming up in high school and stuff. She's like, you need to go to college, be a doctor, that's the only way you're going to make money. And I literally thought that. So when I seen my sister being successful, getting her degrees and stuff, that made me feel bad. Here I am up here thinking like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, I'm feeling less of a person, when in our reality, all I got to do is use my gifts. Because they made plenty of
That's
room
it.
for me.
Because that's what you're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
What is Psalms 31? Or Proverbs 31? What I'm saying, Psalms. It's Proverbs 31.
Your gifts will make room for you.
She had 9 jobs.
Yeah, the virtuous woman. She had 9 jobs.
9.
You talking about multiple
Is it a virtuous
streams.
woman or Proverbs 31?
No.
That woman said Proverbs 30.
She said the virtuous woman.
The
That's
virtues.
Proverbs
Had
31.
9 jobs. She was a trader. She had a garden.
Don't question yourself.
Everything. You can look it up.
Yeah, you can look it up.
We can look it
I
up.
just got mixed up from what I
We can look
read.
it up.
So go look it up once again.
Absolutely. That's what we say. Disclaimer. Don't take everything.
But we know.
We on the right road.
We know.
Yeah.
Their
You
story
just
is
gotta tap in and do your
That's
research
true.
too.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
Y'all
that's right.
always supposed to do your research. Like,
Absolutely.
don't believe everything that somebody telling
Absolutely.
you.
For
Right.
real.
Because somebody can tell you anything.
They sure
Okay.
can.
We're just leading.
And that's just like being in the church, like even when you listen to your pastors and things like that, you cannot just go by what he's telling you, because that's going to part of your foundation too. You got to read and you got to study and show yourself approved, because like you say, somebody will lead you and they may not really be all the way in it like they say they is.
That's what I was
You
just
can't
gonna
have
say.
some negative
When we
lead
talk
you.
about these pastors, like, I truthfully don't feel like anybody in life, whether you're a pastor or whoever you are, you can't lead me unless you're showing me some results. What are you doing? What do you have to show for it? Because anybody can get up here and fake the funk,
What they be doing.
but are you really walking the walk?
Not all pastors be faking the phone, because I don't
No,
know some
we're
pretty
not
good
No,
ones.
not all of
So
them. And I
don't-
love my pastor
We're
too.
not saying that at all.
Majority.
But think about a negative. I was just gonna say we can go back. I ain't gotta say no names or none of that. You out
the
here
pot around. It's all about money.
hooping and hollering and gyrating and carrying
It's all-
on.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. when you just really tap in,
Mhm.
you can feel
The
the
energy.
genuineness
Mhm.
at a church and the pastors, and you can tell
Yeah, you can.
by, you know, just their lifestyle.
Mhm.
Because I have a real genuine pastor.
Yeah, me too. I
And
love
so,
So do I.
me too. And so, like, if you know and you can tap in, then that's how you know where you need to be. Because there are churches that's all they want is money.
Right.
That's it.
Or the image.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it be about that image.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, I mean, these churches ain't making, we ain't talking about the house of porter right now. These churches ain't making bank like this, they want the image. I just don't know.
So I got a question for y'all. I want to know, like, how did y'all become spiritual?
My journey started because I was raised in a church too, Lord knows it was. God started working on my spiritual journey when he transitioned me from Arkansas to California back in 2011. My daddy and me used to always tell me, you need to find a church family, you need to go. Not knowing that I was going to different churches and things, like the energy, the negative. One of these churches I went to, man, I went full of the Holy Spirit, left with some scratched up knees and a migraine.
Oh, wow.
You remember when I went to my church? It's just so...
She failed.
Yes. I felt, and not only that, it was like more so entertainment versus the actual. And I've met a gang of different people, Muslims, different religions, all that. And it just pretty much me talking to all these different people and tapping into their energies and listening just really let me know. Well, it sounds like you all are really pretty much talking about the same thing. Because you can call, like the Muslims, Allah, call him God, Most High. It results to the same energy. So once you remove all this religion and all these different rules and regulations and how you're supposed to be, abide by and do rules, foundations, and go directly to that higher power, which is God, you
Right.
can't go wrong.
Right.
So that's how I was broken from as far as religion and got more on the spiritual aspect. And we're not even going to talk about the things God done took me through from 2011
Dang,
to
it seems like
2020.
that's when everybody was little years.
Yes, that's
Mine was really like
2011.
oh my God, that's scary, y'all.
2011.
I got pregnant for the first time in my life.
Was 2011?
I'm going to tell you what had happened for me. My oldest was born in 2009. And I really had a whole revelation go on that made me really look differently at just being religious and becoming more spiritual. Because it was something that went on with me when I had my child. I was asked to get up and apologize for having her out of wedlock. And you know, I'm a musician at the church, you know. They asked me to get up and do this, okay? So I'm coming back, it's Mother's Day, I'm feeling good, you know, hey, it's good vibe. Everybody, hey, baby, you make me so pretty. Boom, my pastor hits me like, bam, hey, sometime during service, prayerfully before altar call, I'd like you to get up and apologize to the church for having your baby out of wedlock.
Absolutely.
So I feel like, you know, he had contradicted what he told me, because when I first got pregnant with her, you say, hey, don't worry about what nobody say. That's between you and God. And I'm like, absolutely, Pastor. You know, that's how I feel. Because should nobody else be worried about how me and God relationship is, and they shouldn't be having an issue with me, because that's me and him. They have to deal with that. So y'all, when I get to church on this Sunday and this happened, it was like a slap in the face, you know, because they're taking the religion and it made me feel like I wasn't worthy enough, you know, at that time.
Did you
And I'm
cry?
like, and I'm like, my daughter was the best thing that ever happened to me. Like, I'm about to cry now
Me
talking
too.
about it. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because your kids are reflections of you. You know, she started making me see more of myself. And then I had my other baby, and you know, they both make me see myself and things that I need to work on. So y'all, I got up, and at that point, I'm just like, this is not it. I know the church should not be making you feel like this. I mean, I feel like, why am I here at this point? I've been here all my life. And these people supposed to be showing me some love, being, you know, mothers to me, and being like father figures. Because my mom and daddy was all the way with me. They always had my back. But at that point, I was just over the church, y'all. At that point,
I would have been.
I was so over it at that
I would have
point.
been scoot.
You wanna ask me, and I'm like,
No, for me.
I got up
Yeah.
right before altar call, and I'm like, Lord, should I just leave? I'm about to just leave right now. I'm finna go out this stuff. I ain't coming back.
Nope, say what you said.
So I got up. And I got up.
I don't know this story, y'all.
I mean, this is just, it's real. You know, this is how people get church hurt, and people, this is like your foundation. That's why people don't like to go to church, because certain people in the church make you feel like you're not worthy enough, when really we all have been sinners and fell down, and we getting back up. That's all a saint is. If they want to call them a saint, you done fell down and you getting back up. So don't kick me while I'm down. I need you to love on me.
Because why would he tell us he'd give us chance? What is Boy. If you fall, you can get picked back up 70 times 70. It's in the Bible.
It is. It's in there. So I got up there and I said, I was asked to get up and apologize to the church for having my daughter out of wedlock. I say, but first of all, my relationship with God and your relationship with God are two different things, okay? So you can't say that me and God haven't, you know, talked about this. You don't know what I have talked about him with. He has forgave me if it was something wrong, but I don't think that my daughter was not a blessing. So that anybody that has a problem with me, you need to take that over God.
Absolutely.
And that's what I told them. Because y'all sitting here judging me.
That's what y'all doing, but y'all don't.
Because I got a position, but this was a gift. I don't even know how to read music. I just so happened to be a member there and started playing. Drums first, then went to the piano. These people been knowing me my whole life, but those are the ones that will beat you down too. If I would have saw this and had been reading, like, you know, them making me get up, like, where is this at? Show me where I need to get up and do this at. You know, because I haven't saw any other member have to do this.
They humiliated you.
They did. And you know, that's what I felt like. Y'all were just really trying to demean me because I have a position. And that's not right, because I got that gift. Everybody got a gift.
And you ain't failed them since though.
No.
That's the crazy part.
No, not at all. And God just continued to He led me then being more spiritual, because I saw their religious side, that stuff hurts. When they try to use that to just hit you and like batter you with like that. That's not
And that
right.
tells you how real.
No, I was just about to say, with the religion, like, it's like they want you to live this perfect life, but that's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's not, it don't work like
It
that.
don't even exist to be
It don't
perfect.
work like that.
They don't. Something, yeah.
No.
Yes. Oh, man. But Tab, that shows that God is really in you and with you, because most people would have, y'all know what? I'm done with this. I'm finna
I was
find
ready
another-
to quit.
I remember, but you, even when you left and went to different, you still, something pulled you back.
It did, and that's that spiritual side, because I say, I'm not here for y'all, I'm here for God.
Absolutely.
Y'all approval is not it. Because you're not going to be the one to tell me how you did good, you know, well done.
But
Like,
we can't
you cannot.
really
You
just,
serve
like,
a good
we
God.
That's
can't
it,
blame
he's
them,
good.
but we can't blame them because they were conditioned.
They
They didn't
were
know that their ancestors had to sit and listen at a white man or a chosen slave to get up and preach. And that their slave owners was telling this preacher, this slave,
What to say?
the one that they chose to get up and be the preacher, they were telling him what to say.
How to manipulate us.
Exactly. They were telling him, like, and so the way those things went then transferred over into the times, and they just kept that going. You have laws, you got church bylaws. Because, you know, being raised in a Kojic church, I could not wear pants to church. My grandma, she gonna eat me up. I never can, like, if I wore pants to church, it was because I knew she wasn't gonna be a Bible study. She had to go to work. But even then, my mama like, what you got on pants? I can count on one hand how many times I wore pants to church. Because my grandma wasn't going. Like, mom, she might would have went. Probably not, because she would have got in trouble. You know what I'm
Never
saying?
wear them pants
She-
to shirt. We heard about what happened last Sunday.
Back in the day, it was you can't go to the movies, you can't go to the football games, you can't go do nothing fun
So
because
you
it might
can have
cause
fun.
you to sin.
Temptation might rise.
Yeah.
It's
You may
definitely
not be
gonna
able to
rise
watch
if you ain't doing
Doing
nothing.
it,
But
just
listen,
jumping.
no, when you
In a
are
box.
go ahead, that's why I would. No, I'm saying.
Say it,
Say
go,
it,
Michaela,
say it,
say it, say it.
That's why them church kids be the worst ones.
They'll be the worst
Y'all don't
ones.
know how
I'm telling you.
free.
That's
Like,
it.
That's it. And you trying to be perfect, so you sneaking trying to do everything.
I wasn't.
Showing out. I was showing out. I would. I ain't gonna even lie. You know, no, nobody Nobody's perfect.
I did some stuff, but I wasn't wild like that.
I wasn't wild like that either. I was just
Wild.
outspoken for the most part, and I just would do stuff that I didn't think I should have gotten in trouble for, which technically probably shouldn't. But you know, that's them conditions. You know,
I wasn't wild, but my mom let me do a lot. Like, I was pretty free. Not just free, but
Yeah.
I was free to do things that teenagers do, kids
My
do.
mother did too. She never
She
kept me
didn't keep
close
me,
in
you
like
know,
that.
and you're not supposed to.
Do you think
That's
that
the
that
Mom and
caused
Dad
you
did.
to not do so much?
What do you mean?
See, the fact that she would let you go and do, you didn't go overboard. Like, you wasn't quick to jump in, go try and get no drink, or because she was free and maybe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. No, not really. But I mean, I still did it because that's what I wanted to do. Not because that was something I had to do. But definitely, when they keep you boxed in like that, because when I was on punishment, I'm like, no, as soon as I get out this house.
when you're curious at
I'm
this point,
telling you.
you curious at this point, not to be up.
Wait. It don't make no sense to have to steady turn your other cheek. You have to stand up for yourself.
Absolutely.
You have to set boundaries so
Right.
people know how to treat you. And in that's a big part of finding yourself. Knowing what boundaries to set for people and not going around certain people because you know what's gonna go on. I ain't got time to be arguing today. I ain't got time to be having anxiety
To the
because
point
your
where-
energy got me on 100.
We set them boundaries for self, and we not letting nobody else overstep them boundaries. You know,
Yeah,
You have to fall
you
in
can't
love
let
with
people
you.
hurt you like that's. I know you supposed to forgive, but how many times you supposed to forgive somebody for doing
Oh,
the
the
same
same
stuff
hurt.
to you?
Same hurt.
Right.
We be in relationships and will forgive the other person before we'll forgive ourselves for something.
ain't that crazy?
That's right.
And that's messed up. That comes with not being
And
grounded.
That's
why
right.
I say in tune.
In tune.
Okay.
Gotta take care of yourself.
And see, that is a big part of the foundation to break the mold.
Yeah.
You got to be in tune with yourself. You got to love you.
Put yourself first.
That part.
You do.
Always.
In all that you do.
Look in that mirror and just love on you. Say,
Speak
good morning, beautiful. Talk to yourself.
Speak over
Speak
yourself.
life into yourself.
That's it.
For
There's
real.
nothing wrong. You have to talk to yourself sometimes. Just
You do.
get up in the morning
I
and
could
do
my
that.
anxiety.
Encourage
I talk to
yourself.
myself.
Encourage yourself. Because everybody's not going to do it.
No, they're
People not going to do it for you.
They're not going to.
They're
They're
not
going
gonna
to
lie.
Treat people how you know what I'm trying to say.
You treat one of the
how
10
you want to be
commandments.
treated. No, not treat people how you want to be treated. That's how you teach people how to treat you.
Okay.
That's the goal. That's what you say, one of the goals.
You have to be in control because it'll easily throw you off. You getting off your frequency. You done lowered yourself, now you got these little demons.
I do not like
running
getting
around.
off my frequency.
No.
Because I'm like, I can't make no money right here.
Myself.
Not in this place.
We should spend this
Not in this place.
Me no like
It's
that.
too much.
For real, man. I'm telling you.
Put that on the shirt.
Me no like
We just want everybody to be able to face what it is they've been through now. Some stuff is really deep and people don't want to talk. It's like you can't talk to your family members because they're too old or they're too just closed-minded to heal. So you have to be okay with healing by yourself and finding yourself and being okay with how everything goes. And you can feel those emotions, but don't react on them. And you keep going.
That's it.
Because I guarantee you, if you were right, if you on the right path, it's gonna show.
It's gonna
And everything gonna come right back around full circle. Whoever's supposed to be there is going to still be there. You got to be able to drop off whoever fall to the wayside, you gotta let them stay there.
Bye-bye.
It's not for you to be
Peace
here,
out.
sweetie.
I say one thing. I hate when you say that. I talked about you. I feel like that was so mean.
It was.
That's the truth.
No, it was true.
It's not.
Okay, so it's my presentation. I told y'all he's still working on me.
WIP.
Yes, I got bad presentation. I love y'all, but I really
That's her favorite thing to say, y'all.
That's like that cuts you first and then she want to put the Band-Aid on her. That's what I told her. She'll cut you good.
But it's
I love
all in
you.
love.
I just want to
It
say
is.
that.
It was cute though.
How you did.
Look, I had to because you know what I'm saying. trying to be mean in nothing that I say.
No.
I'm a Sagittarius. I'm blunt, y'all.
Oh Lord.
So I just say what I feel, and I don't always have the best presentation. But they know I love
Yeah,
them.
absolutely.
So if I say the wrong thing
No.
to them, they understand, and it's only to the people that matter. They come back around, they understand me. That mean too.
No,
it was
perfect.
It wasn't me.
It is. The people that matter, they, even though they might get mad, they might have, y'all might fall out, but if they're meant to be in your life, the situation never goes to a point where it just falls apart. You know? Because it don't never go there.
Because Lord knows we sisters for real, just from a different mister.
We bicker.
Yes. But it's real, it's still genuine because we understand that, hey, we're not trying to break each other down. The things that we say, I just want to express myself to you. And if you say you love me, you should be able to value my opinion as well. So that's what we do.
What they like to call it, constructive criticism.
That's right.
That's
right. So our main things, for today was basically to just talk about that foundation, and evaluate yourself to be able to learn where you came from, to evaluate the things that may be holding you back in life. Because you can see that when you look back to where you came from. And like we said, talk to them kids. You got your kids, listen to them.
Ask them questions.
We're
Ask
not
them
gonna
questions.
see any changes in the world until our kids are grown. So like right now is the time. As I learn things, I'm telling my kids, and I've been told that I'm too hard on them, but I'm treating you like an adult. Because right now you're in the mindset that you need to be your pure with God. That connection with Him is pure. So therefore, I want you to be in tune spiritually. Because if you get that right, you gonna go to the top. Because you gonna know where you need to go, which direction. It ain't gonna be getting out of school like, I'm gonna go for nursing, and okay, I'm gonna try to my major. Like I did that.
Me too.
And I'm just now finna get ready to graduate in May. I graduated in 2009.
I went from pediatrician to a teacher.
That's what I was supposed to be, a pediatrician. I went from a pediatrician
I'm like, I'm
to
gonna be
a
a teacher because
pharmacy
it's gonna be
That's
easy.
the
My mama
point.
gonna be
But
proud
it
of me.
makes sense though, because
Right.
God got me with it and
But what would you be proud of doing?
I definitely was gonna be very unhappy.
What? With a pediatrician teacher? Oh, teacher.
You
probably
probably
would be
and then
cool.
you got 3, and you have to go home to kids, and you go to work.
Virtual learning.
You said whatever you're doing. Look, virtual learning,
learning,
you would be at home, homebound.
I'm
ready for the
working in
next
no
year.
daycare.
Okay.
I never go to a daycare. I couldn't. I love my kids to death, but it's just for me to deal with mine. It's a job for everybody, and you can't feel bad because that ain't what you do. Good.
Thank you guys for tuning in to our show.
Absolutely.
We appreciate
See you
it.
guys next month.
Like and subscribe.
Next month, y'all be ready for this Black History lesson.
Absolutely.
So y'all might not like it.
So y'all
but
better be
it's
doing
the
y'all
truth.
research, because if you don't know where we've been, you sure don't know where we're going.
Y'all be blessed.
Absolutely.
Love y'all.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up to wake up. Yeah, yeah, get up, get up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up to wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up to wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up to wake up. Get up. Hey, today man, I think it's a wonderful day.
I like it. This was like one of them real live conversations we be having with the video chats. Like this was how that vibe was.
Yeah, it really
That's how we
was.
were talking.